Ladies and gentlemen, it's Tuesday night, a little bit later than usual, but that's all right. We're your favorite Bama show on YouTube and pretty much anywhere. Before we do anything, go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you're in the live chat, let's get it jumping tonight. If you're watching the replay, get in the comment section. Let us know how you feel. As always, the Bama Standard is brought to you by Workspace Solutions and Meld Financial. I'm your host, Justin Riley. With me, as always, is a living legend, 1999 All-SEC linebacker, Marvin Constant. And even though I'm introducing him second, the real star of the show, the man who keeps the lights on, who keeps the audience coming in, who actually got us that gig at the Bryant Museum, comedy legend Steve Brown. Senior analyst of Touchdown Alabama Magazine, Stephen M. Smith, two-time national champion and the best dude to ever tote that rock, the Bo Scarborough. What's going on, fellas?
What's up, man? I'm glad that you guys are here on my show, and I just want y'all to know I appreciate y'all, the hard work that you guys do behind the scenes to keep me, handsome and keep me well-dressed, and I'm just embracing the title of being the star of this great podcast. It wouldn't be anything without me, and of course it wouldn't be anything without the hard work that you guys do, and that's it. Yeah.
Right, forget all that, Steve.
Hold on, Bo. Definition.
Hold on.
Hold on one second. Definition of feeling yourself. Come on the show and wear a shirt with your picture on it. Did you forget who you are?
Hey, it barely even looked like him because the hair around his chin is gray, but in the picture it look black a little bit. And hey, Justin, I appreciate you. I see myself now in our intro video, so I applaud you for getting that change.
I did it for you. Wait a second. That same breath, Steve, he just was getting on to you about having your face on your shirt, but he's been getting on to me because his face isn't all over the intro. So make it make sense.
Well, it needs. Well, wait, but you know what? Let me make it make sense for both. His name should have been on his name and his picture should have been on the intro. Marvin's, all of y'all should have been on there, but mine should have been a lot bigger. And for that, I'm gonna have my people to contact your people, Justin.
We gonna get fined again.
Exactly.
Can you take the stuff back to the museum, please? Because I'm getting emails and phone calls and all types because you ain't returned the stuff back yet.
Brother, I don't appreciate you.
Is that Kenny from South Park on your shirt? I'm just is that the chef. Is that his name?
Justin.
I know.
I feel like maybe you and I should start doing this show together. You being my sidekick, maybe, yeah.
I'm beginning to believe that.
Hey Steve, Steve, I like what you did there. Last week you had all the lights on. This week you got them off and just got the one on you.
Man, that's a candle. His power out. What you mean?
Hey, Stephen M. Smith, you're one of the best MCs in the business. We got a great guest tonight. He's been waiting his turn to talk. Let him talk. Tell us who we got tonight.
Absolutely. We got none other than one of the best running backs to come through the University of Alabama football program. A guy with an incredible story, could run through you, could run over you, could truck over you, could catch the football, brought so much life inside of Bryant-Denny Stadium when he played, enjoyed watching him play when he was out there, but not just that, a guy that would just not be denied in life. Went back to get his degree over the weekend, something that will never be taken away from him. He's got his degree. He can say he is the University of Alabama,
right,
because he's got that degree to show that. We got Jimmy Johns, not the sub, the real Jimmy Johns is in here.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
sir.
Jimmy, hey man, Jimmy, listen. I enjoyed watching you tote that rock, man, but I just got a question, man. When I played with you on PlayStation, they had you as a 7 or 8. I don't understand that.
Hey, man, it is what it is. Hey, I remember playing those games, but man, they cut us some check for putting us in those games, though. So, hey,
It's okay, but you know what? You know what? You were a much better athlete than Marvin, though. I can tell you that. Yeah.
Hey, hey, Marv, they give you a
Yo.
hard time, bro. They give you a hard time, don't they?
Listen, man, envy is what, when you the apple of his eye, I get it. I'm his role model, man. It comes with the territory.
Dude, you cut
Y'all
up.
hear this?
You cut. Hey, I don't think they made one better than you, man.
Well, I
You
appreciate it,
still
bro.
cut up, man. You still cut up. Still rocked up.
Steve Marvin.
He's still, he's still cut up them steroids, something else. Listen,
Hey, Steve, Marvin is his only man crush.
yeah, I know. He be taking naked selfies of himself.
And sent to his own Snapchat.
I know. Marvin got a Tinder account. He the only.
He swiped himself.
Hey, Jimmy, you ain't gonna believe this. Marvin is the only dude that hired himself off Backpage.
Now, Mar, you gonna let Steve?
Listen, man, I understand Steve going through something. My son graduated high school yesterday, so I was in Tuscaloosa this weekend. Passed by the Moon Wings. He out there handing out Stacey Adams and Tighty Whities. So I know
Hey, man.
right now. So I'm gonna let him have
And
it.
Asper cream.
No, you
Hey, Jimmy, now Marvin is correct. Marvin's son did graduate from high school. He's 27, but he made it.
He made it.
Yeah, bro. You just so natural, man. Hey, they just keep coming. Hey, Steve, man, dang. You just keep coming, man. That's just so natural, man. I appreciate that, man. How blessed you are, man, and how gifted you are, man. That's a talent to have. Mark, hey, congratulations to your son, brother.
Thank you.
Yeah, seriously, congratulations, brother.
Thank you. He taught Steve how to read.
Hey, man, you know what? Enough about us, man. Let's get it. You know what, Justin? Lead us into this man's incredible story, man. This is something Marvin never could have done. Lead us into it.
Read a story? Okay. Before we do that, we got some things going on campus right now. Steve M. Smith, before we jump into this man's story, who's got a phenomenal story, quickly give us the rundown about what's going on. We got some new visitors here at safety. Let us know how you feel about that. And then could our defensive coordinator be considered a top 10 defensive coordinator by season's end?
Well, the first news is Jaylen Key from UAB is here as a safety. He made it. He committed from the portal. 6'2", 210 pounds, got 44 games of experience. I know, Bo, you were talking about him a little bit earlier before we came on. I felt like Trey Amos from Louisiana Lafayette, the cornerback, was more of a need than Jaylen Key was. But Saban brought both guys in, so he's trying to build the secondary to be something dangerous. Probably take us back to no-fly zone that we had 2015 to 2017. We'll see what happens there, but Jaylen Key is in here, so he does give you some experience depth there at safety. But the bigger story is Pro Football Focus. I can't stand them from time to time because a lot of times they hit, a lot of times you're like, what in the world is going on with them? But they sat there and made this top 10 defensive coordinator list for college football this season, and Kevin Steele was not on that list. And so Lane Kiffin was like, huh? So Lane Kiffin quote tweets the post from Pro Football Focus and went, Kevin Steele, ? Alabama, because they put Pete Golden on the list, but they didn't put Kevin Steele on there.
What?
Yeah.
What?
They literally, Pro Football Focus had Pete Golden, number 9. Top 10 DCs. They had Pete Golden, number 9, and Kevin Steele was nowhere on that list. And Lane Kiffin was like, what? Y'all tripping.
You know what? I bet that little survey or whatever, I bet it made Marvin piss on himself again.
No, because that was top 10 DCs, top 10 drunk coaches. So Pete belonged on that list.
Then again, you also have to remember this is
but Marvin, it wasn't top 10 drunk coaches, because if it was, why is Will Muschamp and Glenn Schumann on the list?
I was just trying to give a reason for Pete to be there. But you know what?
Yeah.
In all seriousness, though, you know, a lot of people, they'll say Pete was a great recruiter, but you know, that's where it started and it stopped. So I think we'll see his true coaching abilities at Ole Miss, where he doesn't have that stable of players. So I'm looking forward to see his work as well as Kevin Steele's.
I think a lot of people gonna score a lot of points on Ole Miss, and I think they're gonna have to go back to what they were. They're gonna have to start outscoring people,
Well,
just
I can tell
outscoring
you
people.
this: I will be taking the over on every one of their games this year.
So, Stephen Smith, do
Yeah.
you think the guy from UAB is gonna start, or you think he's gonna get more playing time than he expected?
I'm gonna say this: if he start, he gonna have to come here and ball, because watching Malachi in the 8A game, Malachi won't win them safety spots. Watching Caleb Downs in the 8A game, that boy ain't gonna sit the bench. That boy gonna have a role back there. So I'm gonna say this: if Jaylen Key gonna start, he gonna have to come into fall camp and light some folks on fire. He gonna have to do it.
And if he don't start, he gonna have to not be discouraged, because he has in his head that he's gonna start. At least that's what he think, and he gonna have to work on his mental at that point. He gonna have to learn how to be the second guy, or be the guy that rotate in, and not be the guy that play the whole game what he used to playing. Because at Alabama, everybody, we do a lot of rotation, and a lot of thing is brought off how your mental is. Is you mentally prepared? We know that you got the physicality and the athletic system to play, but are you mentally prepared to play at the level of Alabama coming from UAB? Not saying that, not talking bad about UAB program, but it's a higher level at Alabama, because of the way how we run our defense is very complicated to some guys, and that's why some of these 5-star guys that's supposed to be so good that come in and they don't play right away, because they can't get the defense down in a short amount of time. And
But Bo,
he only has a short amount of time, and when when Coach Saban get the rolling, is this, and this. We're not gonna go back to day one on day two. Once we install day one, we're gonna install day two, install day three, and all the way up. And we're not gonna go back to what we did day one on day 10. The only time they gonna do that is when we go to scrimmage, just to see, do you know what you're supposed to do, what we install on day one, which they always say, this is day one stuff that we put in that you should know. And Coach Saban don't go backward, he go forward, because he expect you to know all that stuff once they put it in.
well, let me ask you this. But that was a good question as far as, do you think he's going to start? But the mentality of a player coming in is always, I thought you should come in wanting to start. Like Marvin. Marvin came as a freshman, and you took some out of position, right, Marvin? So the thing is, that's not far fetched for him to come in and with the mentality of starting. Like Bo, when you came in, you didn't go to Alabama to say, okay, I'm gonna come in and go behind such as a Jimmy. When you went to Alabama, you expected to start because that was in your mental. You see what I'm saying? But I do understand where you're coming from, Bo. If you don't start,
but you got to think about it. At the same time, I committed to Alabama when they had 9 running backs. It wasn't about me starting. It was about me competing and learning from the best in the league in college football. But this guy has experience from playing already at a college level. So in his head, like the key word you said was, he think he gonna start. Key word.
But
think.
you know, but
But
the
the thing
experience
is, if he gonna start like Steven said, he gonna have to come in and put in the work. He gonna have to come in and outwork
everybody.
He gonna have to jump out on the film every time Coach Saban watch film, and Coach Saban will say, this is a guy that we need to have on the field. He can't be an every now and then player. a player that pop up every now and again doing something spectacular. If
Well,
he
don't be
wanna,
surprised. Don't be
because
surprised if he takes somebody's spot. Don't
because
be surprised if he takes somebody's spot.
I'm not gonna be surprised. I'm gonna be happy.
Even if it's Kool-Aid, y'all boy. Even if it's Kool-Aid,
I'm
because
gonna be
I ain't
happy.
sold on him.
I'm gonna be
Because I
happy.
ain't sold on him.
Because I'm
Damn.
gonna tell you why I'm gonna be happy for him. Because you gotta think about it. When we practice in June and July, the coach is not out there with us. It's us out there on our own. The
Yeah,
only time, the only time that he gonna have that chance is in August when Coach Saban can put his eyes directly on him in practice. That's when
But y'all heard what I said.
Hold on,
he's
hold
gonna
on,
have
hold
to
on,
do
hold on,
everything
hold on.
correctly and
But you heard what I said. He gonna take
Hold on.
somebody position, even if it's Kool-Aid, because I ain't sold on him. I
Hold
ain't
on,
sold on
Steve.
Kool-Aid.
Hold on,
Hey,
Steve.
Jimmy, are you sold on Kool-Aid?
So let me
Hold on
I'm
1 second though. Hold
Let,
on.
let our guest speak.
on it. I'm gonna speak
Hold
on it.
on.
Hold on, let the guest speak.
Go ahead. All right. So I think that one, Alabama is gonna recruit size. So you gotta be a certain size, a certain length, to go to Bama. And to be a DB 6'2", 210 pounds, that's a big DB. And that's what Bama wants. For him to have 42 games and for him to be at UAB, we gotta see, just like Bo said, how quick is he to pick up the scheme? Was UAB running a cover 3 scheme and he's coming into a cover 2 now, or were they running a cover 2 and he's just coming into the same thing he's been running? So I understand what Bo talking about. See, there's a difference in a scat back and a power back. There's a difference in a dual threat quarterback and a pro style quarterback. There's a difference in a cover 3 corner and a man corner and a cover 2 corner. So it's going to depend on how quick he can pick up the system, because I know he has the size. He got the size. I mean, he got the size. How quick can he pick up the system? And Bo, I don't think him starting. I don't think that really gonna be a big factor, because he gonna get the coaching. He gonna get the coaching that he needs. You don't have to start every single game at Bama.
Yeah, that's what.
Bama.
Okay, well, Jimmy,
hold on, Steve. That's what I was saying. If he doesn't start, do he have the mindset of not starting and being able to come in and still do his job and not be discouraged off because he didn't start?
Okay, but Jimmy, Jimmy, you was naming all these. You was naming all these backs. The differences between backs. You was naming the difference between backs, but the scat back and the full back, they're different. But what about a back that never got in the game, like me? What?
You just get back on the bench.
Nicely.
But you see what I'm saying, Jimmy? How
I do.
Like you said, we rotate. Like, man, when I was at Alabama, we rotated 9 defensive linemen.
Hey, Steve, don't get me back. Hey, Steve, don't. Hey, I was playing, bro. But go ahead.
Okay. Because I almost quit the show.
We rotated 9 defensive linemen. There were plays when Ronnie Harrison wasn't on the field. There were plays when Ronnie Harrison start. Did Ronnie Harrison get discouraged? No. When Ronnie Harrison got on the field, he did his job, came downhill and knocked people's head off and got
Okay, time out. Excuse me, guys. Excuse me. We forgetting something. We forgetting something. We forgetting the main reason why we are here. Justin, let's talk to our guest. That's what I'm interested in. Let's talk about the guest, his story.
When I put together another podcast, I'm gonna get all librarians, because they know how to shut the hell up. I'm just playing, but yes, guys, we got a special guest.
We did get his input on it. Me and him were having a conversation.
Hey, so me and Bo really clicking, because I know what Bo been through, and I changed position. I came to Alabama as Mr. Mississippi, the number one quarterback in the state, number 7 dual threat quarterback in the nation. And I didn't understand that I was going into a pro style offense. So my first year, they had signed 3 parade All-Americans, Glenn Coffey, Roy Upchurch, and then Ken Darby was still there, about to break the rushing record. So I switched from quarterback to running back, and we were running we're running a big back offense. And then the next year we got Terry Grant, who was a scat back. Which is a small back gonna catch out of backfield. He had 1,300 yards that year, freshman All-American. And we just do different things. I'm gonna hit the hole. I'm gonna bang him up the middle. I'm gonna beat you up all game. And Terry Grant was one that's gonna run away from you, and he ain't gonna run up the middle. And I'm not gonna run outside. So I understand exactly what Bo coming from. You know what I mean? If this kid, and when I say kid, I'm not disrespectful, but everybody in college is 18 to 23 years old. And we look at them like like they grown men. And we just got to keep in the mindset that they are young men. And he got to be mature, like Bo is talking about. He got to be mature and ready to start or ready to come in and play for your team at any point of the game.
But the reality is, as long as he's athletic, he will have a shot. Playing defensive back is one of the easiest positions to play on the field because cover 3 is cover 3, cover 4 is cover 4, cover 2 is cover 2, 1 is 1, 0 is 0. You mix in a few other concepts with it, it's still the same coverages. So it's easy to pick up.
But Saban like this corner to guard a different type of
Marvin, as a linebacker, if you're a run stopper, there's a difference between you getting out there on that island and you covering that D, the D receiver or the slot guy.
I did it all.
That's two different things.
See, but the thing about it, that's what everybody perceived me as a run stopper, but I had to learn how to cover in space. Mm-hmm. So it's easy. If you have the athletics, it's easy to transition.
Yeah, I get it.
What was saying though, he don't have that. So Marvin, you are a different kind of specimen, man. Everybody know that, right? So like even at Bama, you probably bigger, you cut up more than everybody. So stuff come different for different people. It's one reason he didn't sign with Bama from the get-go. You know what I mean? But that don't mean he hasn't developed into the talent that he needs to be, right? Because he had the measurements. He's had the measurements, 6'2". He probably picked up weight, and now he can, so everybody grow at a different rate. You know what I mean?
And that's why I say the physicality is there, the athleticism is there, but it's the mental part is there.
Mental there, right?
All right. So let's talk, Justin. Justin, go ahead.
Let's touch on that physicality you just mentioned and going up the middle, like you said, Jimmy. My leadoff question is something that we kind of debate every week, but it's usually between Marvin and Bo. Jimmy, I'm gonna ask you a serious question here. If you're going through that hole and you meet Marvin up the middle, what happens?
I'm gonna fold him up like a cheap lawn chair.
That's what's up.
All right, they set you up for that.
Oh man, come on,
Steve.
Marvin, they set you up for that.
Hey, Jimmy, that happened with me and Marv every single week.
Righteous. So y'all gotta see. You sitting here with three guys, and I think this is why the Alabama program and Coach Saban, why they should do such a good job, because you're taking three alpha men. Like I'm sitting here, I can feel how alpha both of these guys are. You know what I mean? I'm the same way, but Nick said. Steve,
he didn't say Girl Scout, Steve.
So,
touching yourself.
What I'm so impressed about
Alabama, again.
That
you are alpha too, Steve.
And he's able to take these guys that got this, I'm better than everybody. I'm the best in the world. I'm better than, and teach them how to work together, how to be brothers, how to be teammates. I'm sitting, I feel it between Marvin. I feel it on both, like they alpha dog, and you gotta have that. You gotta be damn near crazy about the game, about, a life to get to play on that level. And you gotta be selfish. Everything gotta be about football, unless you Marvin and it just comes, natural like that, But everybody else gotta work.
I do have a serious question though. Speaking
Come
of
on.
you being Mr. Mississippi, dual threat, as Alabama fans, we always wanted to know: was there ever an opportunity or a package set up for you to play quarterback? We all wanted to see it, but we never got that opportunity. Was it there at least?
Well, for the Ole Miss game right there, the second quarter, we ran a lot of Wildcat for the Ole Miss game my true freshman year, and then the LSU game we did some, did some Wildcat. Um, but like I said at that time, pro football has changed too, also. So you can't take you can't change the program for an athlete. The athlete has to fit the program, you know. So everybody in that quarterback room it was John Parker Wilson, Brody Kroll, Mark Gillian. They're all pro style quarterbacks, you know. So you can't change the offensive game plan for a dual threat quarterback, because if you get hurt, then the pro style guys got a problem. So I didn't understand that. I didn't understand that coming in, but I felt like that. It didn't matter. When they put me at running back, I was second leading rush on the team. I beat out some, 5-star All-Americans, and they're my brothers though. But also, I played every special team, all 4 special teams. And right before I got into everything, I was starting at linebacker. So I did it all 3 phases at the University of Alabama. And I just you love the game.
Mm-hmm. So Mike McCoy had a question he wanted me to ask you. He wants you to tell us about the time that you tried to fight Coach Burns.
Yeah, I heard Coach Burns whoop you. I heard he whooped you.
So look, no, I saw Coach Burns. He came to my graduation. That's my guy, man. But Bo, you better tell him, Mike. Coach Burns will try to fight you.
Yeah. Yeah, me and Coach Burns got into it one day at practice.
Hey, it ain't Coach Burns Coach Burns will square up first, man. He'll throw the Dukes up first and call you out, But man, just like I was saying, you deal with a lot of alpha dogs. As I got older, I kind of digress, because it's not as important to me anymore to be, alpha, be correct about anything, But as a young man, it's all you TTG, you trying to go, and it's all go mode, and you're full of testosterone. You're not thinking like an adult. So it's all about, hey, I'm gonna break you, and it's like 2 batting rams, and somebody gonna break at the end, and that's how I played the game. I felt like, from the first quarter, everybody gonna come hard. Second quarter, are you man enough to keep on hitting me? I know you're gonna come out after half, but in that 4th quarter, are you gonna still be there? Because I am. With Coach Burns, it's just a competitive thing. I'm competitive. I don't remember that, but I had some wild time. I had a lot of wild story coming up.
He shot me a text.
Justin, when you lose a fight, you usually try to forget it.
Look
So
at him. The old man beat me up. Yeah. Let me stop. I love Coach Burns to death.
Shout out to Jamie Wilhelm.
Shout
out to our guy Jamie Wilhelm for the $4.99 super chat.
There it is. I want that $4.
Hey, so Bo, was Coach still, when you had him, was he still fire like that?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I remember one day we getting ready for the SEC championship to play Florida, and I'm at practice and I'm doing everything correct. You know when you doing everything right, like you doing everything right. And like every time, I do my 3-play rag and I come off, he'd be like, God damn, Bo, man, I'm trying to get you to play, man. You ain't doing shit right. And I walk past, I'd be like, what you talking about? You know what I'm saying? So we were probably about like the fourth period where you going against the scout team.
Mm-hmm.
and I had ran the ball, right between the tackles or whatever, and it was open, and I got down there, and he was like, "Damn, bro, you ain't doing shit right," and I was just like, "Man, fuck this shit," and then so he heard what I said, and he was like, "Oh, fuck this shit. Well, you could go home then. You think we need your ass?" I was like, "Nah, y'all don't need me." Well, he said, "Well, go home then." So then he walked off, like walking back towards the play. So I was on a knee, and I got up, and I was walking towards the way that he was walking. And then and he so having to turn around, and soon he turned around, we end up bumping each other. He was like, "Oh, not this motherfucker want to fight. Oh, you want to fight? All right, God damn it. You know what I'm saying?" So I was like, "Man, what is you even talking about?" So the next day I go into it, cause Coach Stevenson, he like, "You need to go talk to Coburn. You need to go talk to Coburn because we played Florida, so you need to go talk to Burn." So I go in Burn office. He ain't in there, so I sat in there until he came in there. He came into the office, and he was like, "Oh man, we good, man. We good. We good. I've been trying to get motherfuckers to do that for the longest, and you the only one that did it."
That's it. He gonna try to punk you. See, he from New Orleans, he from Louisiana, man, and he try to talk that talk, try to play, man. He wants some dogs.
Yeah.
I wanna fight him.
And ever since that day,
You should.
he never said nothing to me like you know what I'm saying, like he do like other players. Like
Right.
once you talk back to him and show him like, "All right, now, coach," like he gonna leave you alone because he gonna know like, "All right, he a dog." You know what I'm saying?
He want to
Like,
see that.
yeah, like after that, he ain't gonna mess with you no more. If you mess up a play here, correct you on and then going on. Opposed to if you never got at him, oh, he finna beat down your throat.
Right. Right.
We got a question from the audience for you, Jimmy, from Nelson Robinson. Who are your top 3 running backs of the Saban era?
I better be in there.
Man. So you gotta go with both. You gotta go with both Heisman Trophy winners. And man, I don't know. I mean, like the third. You sitting there, you look at Bo, you look at TJ, you look at Kenyon Drake, you look at
Najee.
Najee. You got Najee right there. But you know what people fail to realize is everybody except for Mark probably and Trent, you looking at the same prototype. You're looking at a 6'2", 230, you know what I mean, dog that's gonna hit it and beat you up for that ain't scared to carry 40 times. They're gonna beat you up all game. And that third can go anyway. If both stay healthy, who knows? Like, bro.
Hey man,
Like,
that's to me that's an unfair question. That is the hardest question.
It is.
That's a hard question.
So the reason why I said I was at A-Day game, and I'm sitting here and I'm looking at Bo, Mark, Derrick Henry, TJ Yeldon, Kenyon Drake, Julio. I mean, but I was talking about running back. You're looking at all these people, right? I mean, that just came back to A-Day, and it's like, it ain't, like, wow, it ain't fair, to be able to see all that talent, man, on one field at one time is crazy, But to my point, I was saying, I really don't think people understand. You know what? I think they do, but the stuff that Bo Scarborough did, man. I mean, the way he ran the ball, the tenacity that he ran the ball, his athletic ability, and just, I mean, man, Bo, and I done heard this from several people, but Bo, you probably the most special, talented, gifted player that, what I mean? And I said it when I first got on but the most gifted out of everybody. Because nobody is.
He's special. He's special. God damn, he's special.
I went in that room with you, though.
I'm serious, because Bo had
Special. Same
Derek,
class all day. He's special.
look,
All day, same class.
I saw
Oh,
Derek carry
oh.
the 4 against LSU, but Derek is a pro, right? He's a nice. He's got a great personality. He's a nice guy. Bo ain't no nice guy, bro. Bo a
Hell no. Hell no.
So he come with a different. When he stepped foot there, he was already a grown man. So he come running. He come running in the game with a whole different tenacity because he probably had to get out of the mud at a younger age.
No, he come from a good family. He come from a good family. I come, but I don't know what happened to him. I don't know what happened. I don't know if he in the red, dirt, and green county. I don't know what happened. But he come from a good family. His mom, cool, all of them. He come from a good family. He come from a really good family.
I will always say this. I'll always say this. If Bo and Bo know this, if you could just stayed up against Clemson, bruh, we had it.
Over.
Yeah, he gonna get selfish and get hurt. How you gonna make it about you, Bo? Don't make it about him and get hurt. That was just so selfish.
I always blame Cam Robinson.
Eating too many freeze pops before the game.
Hey, I think Najee ran as hard as you, but I don't think Najee as big as as big as you are and as aggressive. I think you're more of Derek's size with Najee. With Najee, I call Najee crazy leg, man, because he just run. He never stopped running. And you gonna look up, man, bro. I played the game like you. Like I love contact.
Me too.
Me too, bro. I'm gonna break you, or you gonna break me,
right?
And that's just what it was, And that's the way I saw you play the game. You played it that old school, get it out of the mud. I'm gonna break you because I'm more dog. I got more dog in me than you do, and that's how you play the game.
That's what I used to tell. That's what I used to tell linebackers. I can do this all day. Can you do this all day?
Ooh, Marvin. Marvin. Marvin.
I used to tell them, you know how they'll get you one play. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'd be like, I'll be back. I can do this all game, but can you hit me all game?
Yeah, hit you all game.
Finish him.
Right.
Excellent.
Are we literally quote Mortal Kombat right now?
We are with that show now.
You got him in the third quarter where they be like, good run, good run, bro.
I never said that to anybody. No.
Look, hey, Marvin.
That's when you got him.
When you got him.
And another way, when you go head up with them the first time, the second time they trying to catch.
They try to catch you.
Yeah, they're trying to catch. Because when you put your shoulder down, you in air and they on the side of you.
I didn't have that shoulder down, and you'd have been getting it put back in place.
I done had that happen in the pro where I went head up with a guy. Boom, the second time, and me and him in the hole again, just us. I'm thinking that we finna go head up, so I drop my shoulder and I'm falling. He on my back. I'm like, damn, I thought we were finna go head up and man,
they want none of that.
I just wish that they didn't blow that horn when it was me and Raekwon Smith. It was me and him. The hole was so big. It was me and him, and he was like,
that don't sound right.
In my eyes,
it does.
In my eyes, when they blew that whistle, he was like, "Hoo, boy, you lucky. You was scared.
You lucky. You got lucky."
Cause I was finna lay him. I already knew where I was finna hit him at.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching the Bama Standards where dudes come on here and have massive flashbacks.
I love.
All right.
Marvin, just to be fair, I understand it from both standpoint. Kevin Steele was my linebacker coach, and like he had me. I wish I never would have played no other position because like that's the mentality. I had a linebacker. Both. I guarantee you the same way. But I had a linebacker mentality playing running back, playing quarterback. And when Coach Saban got there, and they did put me at linebacker. You know, like I felt at home. That's what my son played now because like that's the kind of the kind of attitude, you know. But just to be fair, I know it from both sides, Marvin. I know how. Hey, I know what you're gonna do. I know. I already know. Don't. Hey, I already know.
And I do have to say, Jimmy, I've seen some film on your son. He's that dude.
Yeah. Hey, he thin though. So
Don't
when we
matter, man. He can
talked
bring the
about,
wood.
I think that like we were talking about earlier, to go, Bama, they're gonna recruit a certain. You gotta be all their DB is gonna be 6'2", 210. You know what I mean? 200. You gotta be a certain prototype. But with my son, he's a pro already. He understands the game. He understands all three levels of the game. He understands the different. He understands coverages. So he's a smarter player. I think he'll develop into what he wants to be. Marvin, what about your son? Did he play?
No.
So
you sound disappointed.
don't
Very.
be like that. You can't be like
I
that,
felt
right?
that. I felt that.
Hey man, you can't. You know what, man? Your son is gonna be the best version of who he is.
You're right, but here's my qualms with it though. When your mama always talking about, I don't want my baby to get hurt, so you refuse to let him go out there.
Your son is gonna be the best version of who he is, no matter what. No matter what we want our kids to be, they still gonna be the best version of whoever they decide
Right.
to become.
But
We just gotta embrace it as parents. Like, I
Steve,
want my son right now. He the lead cheerleader for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I get all types of gear.
but Steve, here's the thing about it though. It's like you said, we should embrace who they want to be. We shouldn't, as a parent, dictate what they can and can't do, especially in terms of sports. You shouldn't tell a kid they can't play a sport because you don't want them to get hurt.
Right.
So, hey Marvin, you so old school, bro. Hey, you stand in line too, and I respect that. What I'm realizing is that everybody not cut like us though, bro. Like you one in a million, and even at work, I try to realize that everybody don't got that same, go get it. I heard somebody say if an eagle see another bird flying up there at that altitude, he know it's an eagle because no other bird can get to that altitude and sustain that altitude, right? They can get there, but it's sustaining it. You were able to do that. You're gifted. Bo, you're able to do that. Steve in comedy. You know what I mean? Like everybody got their own niches, So with mine, we can't expect him to be us. And I want him to be me. I want him to love the game like I love the game. But it's a different world than what we grew up in.
Mm-hmm. Jimmy, I got a question from the audience. And after that, then we'll kind of get to the meat of your story to hear about your testimony. Tony Kent, Jimmy, what do you think about Justice Haynes?
Well, in what sense is he saying?
I guess just your overall take on his ability and what he's already doing at such a young age. He seems to already get it. He seems to be like year 3 ready based on what we've seen on film. And then even in the spring, he just looks like that guy. Of course, Bo is mentoring him, so it definitely reflects that. But yeah, just your overall feel.
I was just gonna put it back to the Bo Scarborough, right? Bo, I think you stay hurt because you went so hard. Every play that you ran, every play that you had, you gave it 110%. And I think some of us are cursed like that. You know what I mean? And I did it because I didn't think I was the fastest. I didn't think I was the strongest. You know what I mean? But I was the best. I felt like I was the best all around. So I had to go the hardest. I feel like that was my gift. Everybody, if he can stay healthy, that's it. It's staying healthy. But then again, you got guys that never started, and they get the, they last and they get the shot. So it's about luck. It's a crapshoot. But I would say just keep working on your game, to keep working on game and keep getting better. And understanding that you with some of the greatest, you're at the greatest university, learning from some of the greatest coaches, and enjoy that time, because you don't get that back. You don't get to go back to Bama.
Absolutely. Shout out to B-Man, 1111, $5 super chat. If you squint your eyes, Marvin looks like LeBron, hairline and everything. Dang,
No,
Marvin.
I have all my hair. I have all of my hair. Okay. No implants. Let's be clear about that.
So, hey, Marvin, I swear to God, I promise you, I promise. I thought that, I thought I loved myself more than anybody in the world. Marvin, I think I probably met somebody that loved himself more than I do.
And how did you come to that conclusion? Because I said I got all my hair.
He saw your Instagram.
You just you're like the prototypical just jock, just jock, and I'm sitting there looking on I admire it. I admire it because in today's world, it's hard to be you. And I'm having, I guess because I think you were probably 5 years older than me. That's not a lot, but you're holding line. You're holding the line. Me 5 years younger, I'm bowing down. I'm having to switch it up. I'm having to, I can't be that alpha no more. And you still, bro, you still that dog. You still alpha,
I'm just trying to hold it in the road. I'll be 44 this summer. I'm just trying to keep it together.
Watch this. Bro, you look 24.
I wish my knees don't feel like it.
Look, man, no, I'm serious, man. You look amazing, dog. And
thank you, brother.
Hey, everybody don't have the opportunity to be you.
Absolutely.
Now,
folks, we're about to turn the story just a little bit. And if you got young athletes or kids, please bring them in the room, because I really want Jimmy to have an opportunity to tell his story. You're a leader in the locker room and on the field, and a guy I consider to have a great character. And I've heard your story, but I want you to give you the opportunity to tell it. In 2008, what kind of caused you to jump out of character and start selling drugs and turn to that lifestyle?
So I think what the Black community, young Black males, especially, need to admit to and start understanding that we need to embrace mental health. We have a lot of things that we go through in life, and we have to suck it up. You got to be the adult. At that, I was going through a whole lot, changing positions. My grandfather died. My grandfather raised me. That was my role model. Just going through position changes, and just growing up in a culture that's what I saw. I didn't see the positive Black role model. I saw, the guy that's hustling, and I was the one that was special enough to get out of that situation because of my talent. In year 3, things it just got crazy. My grandfather died, and I really don't know what made me, that brave to do it. I say that's the only thing that I was ever bad at, because I got caught real quick. Real quick. So I wasn't a kid that grew up hustling. I wasn't a kid that grew up, wanting to sell dope or nothing like that. But I grew up around it. I'm a part of that culture, and I still think to this day. I was speaking, to this day, like Alabama recruits that culture. You go after players that are mature, for the A, they're big, and they come with that culture. So, what I, what we have to do is kind of understand that's what we're recruiting, understand who we're recruiting and have compassion for that. I know for a fact that Nick Saban understands that because before um, Coach Saban, nobody had ever shown me compassion. Nobody had never said, man, so it may be something wrong going on. He probably ain't a bad kid. Everybody just look at you for the mistake that you make, and they'll play. Um, but Nick Saban showed me compassion. But at the same time, I had to hold him accountable for the word that he was speaking to me. I remember him saying, you're gonna have to withdraw from school. Um, but after you finish with all your government and your court stuff, like you're not out of this family. We're not throwing you away, but obviously you got some stuff you got to attend to first. And people hear that. I heard it, and I'm crazy enough to believe everything that he's saying. Now soon when I hear it, I know I got an open door back to Alabama. It may take a while to get back there, but he didn't throw me away. And as a kid at 5 years old, I told my mama that I was gonna play at the University of Alabama, and that came true. So when I had that taken away from me, or when I gave that up, that was probably one of the most depressing things that I had to go through. I didn't know I was going through depression. I didn't know I was depressed from losing my scholarship because I was working every day. I was raising a family, making $100,000 a year, selling cars, but all I ever wanted to do was, play football for the University of Alabama and just love, be there. And when I gave that up, I went through a lot of mental depression, a lot of mental issues, and not to switch to me, but that's why I've been connecting with Bo so much because I see me and you in a different way, right? From you having injuries, being so good, and then like, damn, like I was right there, and then damn again, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And how far could you have, you know what I mean? Like you got Hall of Fame talent, and you can tell by how you love the game like I love the game. So I had to realize, and I'm just now getting this as an adult, that you know what I mean? Like it'll send you down through that mentally, and we have to embrace that and say, hey, bro, how you doing today? How's everything going? Is it something you want to talk about? And be that ear for, be that ear for your brother. So, it was very tough on me. But I think that God made me to take them tough, to take the tough road so I can be an example for everybody else. I grew up in the 90s. I grew up in the country. We didn't have my grandparents, they didn't have running water. We had an artesian well about a half a mile down the road that shot out cold water. And people would come from all over the world to get that water. And it was hours down the road. So we didn't have running water. To take baths, we would boil, we would, pour the artesian well in the tub, and then we'll take a pot of boiling water and pour it up in there just to have lukewarm water. We would burn candles at night. I remember my grandmother feeding the dogs through the floor when she was cooking in the kitchen, So, the stuff that I went through as a 20-year-old kid, that was nothing compared to, how I grew up. And how I grew up, I didn't know we were poor. I just thought it was another day. I'm the first generation of my family to go to college. My sister's the first one to graduate. My mom, she dropped out. She was married at 16. She dropped out of high school in the 9th grade. Had 5 kids, and she raised us all. And afterwards she got 3 degrees, but we come from, I say we're the last of the Mohegans. We lived off the land. I can tell you how to fish. I can tell you when blackberries coming. I can tell you when plum season. I can tell you when honeysuckles. I can tell you when I can lay the land out. I understand the land. We were poor, so we had to get it. So going through what I went through, as a 20-year-old, it was really, it wasn't as hard as people, wanted to be physically. It was just a mental thing by getting to the top of the mountain and then losing it all and knowing me in my mindset, I knew I was going to get back, but I didn't know how. I didn't know how long it was going to take, but I was prepared for that journey, and I was prepared to do what it took to get back there, because I wanted to set the example for my kids. Okay? So I was the first to go to college. We're going to set the tone now. All of my kids are going to go to college. My kids, they understand the world now. They have passports. They understand customs, U.S. customs. They understand that it's different nations, it's different nationalities. I had never left Mississippi. When I got to Alabama, I turned 18 on June the 19th. On June the 20th, my mama packed me up and she sent me to Alabama by myself. And I remember coming to the dorm, and all the other players, their parents were there, like taking them up to the dorm and putting their stuff in the dorm room. And I remember thinking to myself, I'm like, man, they some chumps, man. They mama and daddy here. Not knowing, because we had never been to college, not knowing that's routine, right? That your parents, they take you there, they set you up, they give you money, where I'm from, you grown at 17, and hey, go get it out the mud, But like I was saying, I know God gave me that, He gave me that assignment because I'm the strongest,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think He could have gave it to anybody else, and they made it back. We had a lot of mental breakdowns in my family, just because of I didn't understand when I made it, when Bo made it, when Marvin made it, his mama made it, his brothers made it, his sisters made it, and they grew because everybody that they knew, they said, man, how Marvin doing? How Bo doing? Man, I saw Bo run, and it made them bigger in the lives of people just by associated with you, And when my starter went up, everybody else's went up. And when I hit rock bottom, everybody else hit rock bottom. But they wasn't mentally prepared to shake it off and have a 24-hour rule, whether you win or lose, you celebrate or you mow for 24, and then it's on to the next journey. Right after me and Coach Saban left that meeting where he told me I had to, where I was going to withdraw from school, I knew right then, like, my next mission is to get back to Bama. It's to get back to the family. And that went through 8A games, that, coming back for flag football for 8A, coming back for games, and being accepted back into the program, to school program, and all the way to get my degree. And how Coach Saban is if you when he told me that, by me holding him accountable, by me standing up on my end, he had no choice but to stand up on his end, because that's how he cut. He ain't gonna tell you something and then, go back on his word. So, I knew where my journey. I knew I had to make the steps. I knew I had to be the leader, because Coach Saban's life was good. He don't need Jimmy, you know what I mean? But Jimmy needs Alabama, because that's what completes me.
As we kind of come to a close here, I want to ask you one last thing, and I hope people are really listening in the audience. One of the hardest things to do on the road to recovery is self-forgiveness. How long did it take you to forgive yourself?
15 years. I didn't know until I didn't know. Like I said earlier, I didn't know I was depressed and I was fighting mental depression because I thought because you're taught to suck stuff up, you don't know when there's a cloud over you because you're probably born with that cloud on you, you know. And when I walked and I got my diploma, I got my degree, man, it seemed like a you know a mountain raised off of me because I realized for 15 years I was doing charity work. I was giving back to the community, book bag drive, coat drive. I spoke in 3 different states from Louisiana to Mississippi to Alabama, driving for free. Not for, and I was giving back to the people, but I didn't realize that every time I did that, it gave me a little joy. It built me back up just a little bit. And then probably out of 300 or 400 times speaking and being there, you know, I built up every little time. I got a little bit more confidence, a little bit more, self back. And it took 15 years to me to get my degree, and I realized, damn, man, you were in a dark spot. You're in a very dark spot, and you don't know it. You don't know it until you accomplish what your mission is. Because I like to say I put my blinders on. And if you ever go to the Kentucky Derby, you see a horse. They got things on their eyes that they call blinders because they tunnel vision. They don't want them to look up in the stands and get distracted. So I had my blinders on, man, and I blocked everybody out. And I was not heartless, but I had to care about my mission so much that I didn't care about too many people outside of the immediate family.
Understandable. Well, guys, before we kind of ease into the closing time, do you have any questions for Jimmy before we do that? All right. Well, to end on a high note, Jimmy, what was your favorite time or best moment at Alabama?
Shit, get my degree.
I knew it.
I think one of my favorite times, and I didn't know this, but every player, all the players, and all the staff, when I used to go on the field, I would run on the field and I would have my arms out like an airplane, and the entire stadium would do it with me, and being able to command that, command the stadium, that's what I always, wanting to grow up at Bama. Matter of fact, I saw Forrest Gump do his thing. And I'm like, I gotta go do it. I gotta go. And then I saw George Teague, of course. And then in '99, did y'all win in the SEC in '99? Sean Alexander, I saw y'all. You know what I mean? And that culture right there, man. When I came to Bama, it was 2005. We had just got off of probation, and I'm like, I'm gonna be Bama. You know what I mean? Like in my mind, like I was so mad at the world because they was, stepping on my heart, and they didn't act like they didn't know that we had our scholarships taken, that we couldn't recruit like everybody else, and so the picture was painted so different about Bama when I went there, and I wanted to change that.
You definitely did, sir. We definitely appreciate everything you contributed to the program. Guys, before we close up, I'm going to let y'all go around the room and pop what you got going on next. Starting with you, Marvin. What you got with 40 Plus Strong? How can they find you on social media?
40 P.
You can find me on IG Constant45. This is a link to the Amazon to purchase a copy of my book. Again, if you're late 30s, 40s, 50s, and you're looking for, some resource tools, some different workout programs that actually help you achieve those fitness goals, it's all included in the book, written in a format to where you can track your progress as you go through, whether you're intermediate, beginner, or you've been doing it for a long time. There's something for everyone in the book.
That's what's up. Y'all definitely check into that. Bo Scarborough, Tell the folks what all you got going on and your show tomorrow night right here on the Bama Standard YouTube channel at 7:30 p.m. Central. Go ahead and pop off,
Yeah,
Bo.
tomorrow night, 7:30 Central. Me, Trent Richardson, Blake Sim, and Kristen Jones, and Reggie Raggan gonna be our guest for tomorrow for the developmental focus point. And this weekend, we're playing Michigan up in Michigan, and yeah, you can request the videos on Cameo. I'm on Cameo. Anniversary, happy birthdays, graduations, whatever it may be. You can request me on Cameo. And also, they came out about 2 weeks ago. I'm the representative of my team, the player rep, also on the committee team, and also the spokesman for my team as well.
That's what's up. Congrats on that. Steven Smith, what you got? How can they find you on all your platforms?
Well, we got, in my own words, tomorrow, 6:30 Central on YouTube. Still, it's the off season, so still trying to find different things to talk about where Bama football is concerned. As we get later on to the summer, the rest of these freshmen will be here. So we'll see how many of these guys will play in the upcoming season, how many of these guys from the transfer portal will play in the upcoming season. There's been a lot of talk about Georgia this offseason, but can Alabama get that thing back? We're gonna see here in this coming fall. So it's gonna be fun talking about Bama football. Also, we're gonna be looking at some Bama in the NFL. Week 1 of the NFL season got a lot of Bama players playing week 1. I think that first matchup you got Eagles Patriots. That's Mac Jones, Jalen Hurts. That's gonna be a fun game just out the gate right there. A lot of these guys have also signed their rookie contracts. So just a lot of cool stuff to talk about.
Yeah, no doubt. And I want to remind everybody, first of all, before you leave out of here, hit the like button, hit that subscribe button. If you're watching the replay, get in the comment section. Program notes. We have more than just the Bama Standard main show on this channel. We have other shows. Tonight, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern, which isn't too long from now. The Final Whistle, hosted by Matt Cadell, Chris James, Coach Smook, and Dan James. That's every Tuesday night, that same time. Check that out. Then on Wednesday night, like Bo Scarborough said, the developmental focus points right here, 7:30 p.m. Central, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Show some love, support all of these shows. Man, Jimmy, we greatly appreciate you being with us, man. It's an honor to have you. If you will, tell everybody what you got coming next. Steve Dean wanted to know also what your degree was in.
So my degree is in human environmental sciences, with the concentration in consumer affairs, and that's why I'm so big, on pushing this issue of mental health, man. And because I feel so much better when I talk about it. Because a lot of us don't know we're going through it. A lot of us don't know, that something that happened 10 years ago, someone dies, you're going through whatever, that it could sit on the back of your mind, and you don't know it, until somebody asks you those questions, and you really, really answer them with the content mind and the real mind. How am I doing? How am I doing? And I just want everybody to, recognize that, man, and be aware of mental health and depression. And, as athletes, we set our whole life on one goal, and that's making it to the pros, or that's making it to this place or that place. And if it don't happen, we go through things, so I just want everybody to be aware of that. And, never give up, always keep pushing, and, set your goals high, set them high. Mine's like a storybook ending. You never think that a kid from 5 years old say he want to play at Bama. He go to Bama, he squander it, he ruin, ruin it, and then able to get that shot back and earn his degree from the University of Alabama. That's more than me. That's more than Nick Saban. That's God. That's compassion, and I appreciate that. And I just want everybody, to understand that, I appreciate, you know, everybody for, you know, just standing there with me, man, and you know, it just is big.
Man, we really appreciate the message
And Bo,
tonight, brother.
Marvin, man, we all gotta connect. I know I'm gonna get y'all numbers, you know, I'm
Okay.
gonna get y'all numbers, you know,
For
because
sure.
I know for a fact, you know, how you know how tough it is, man. And hey, Marv, just to talk to you, dog, man, I need to hear that sometime. You know, I need to hear that alpha sometime.
Well, it's been a pleasure talking to you as well, brother. It truly has been.
Yeah, good to see you, man. Good to see you.
And
Absolutely, man.
congratulations again.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Man, we're proud of you.
Hey,
We'll have you back soon, brother. You're
oh,
not
definitely.
gonna,
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it, man. Every second of it. I don't want to let these guys go, man. And I bet they feel the same way. It's that brotherhood, you know. And we get, you know, you get to talking, and it's like, man, this is the same dude I am. This is, you know what I mean?
oh yeah.
You meet somebody that's cut, you know what I mean? That's cut like that. But man, you know, I enjoy. I definitely. I'm sorry it took me so long to get on, y'all. I had some trouble. My son, he's supposed to be playing at 5, and they pushed his game back, and it was just so much going on, man. But I enjoy every second of it, man. And I appreciate y'all just having me. And man, I appreciate it.
Yeah. Glad to do it, brother. It was an honor. Well, that's going to do it for all of us. Thank you all for tuning in. On your way out, hit that like button one more time. Roll Tide, everybody.
Roll
Tide.
Tide.